My name is Shiva Parsa, and I am the Senior Director of the Educational Opportunity Program here at California State University, Northridge.
My name is Gina Gonzalez. I'm the Associate Director for the Educational Opportunity Program here at Cal State Northridge.
The EOP Resilient Scholars Program is a program that's an extension of EOP, specifically designed to meet the needs of foster youth. So EOP has always served foster youth since EOP was even created. But over the years, it became more evident that this foster youth students needed more support, more than even what we were providing. So our former director, Jose Luis Vargas, decided to create a program that was specifically designed to serve foster youth. The program at that time did not have a name, so it was just called the Former Foster Youth Pilot Initiative.
During the 2008-2009, I would say pilot program is what it was technically called, there was this, I think it was this immense nature of wanting to feel a sense of belonging, but not necessarily through the lens of being a former foster youth. So in 2008, 2009, it literally was you coming into a space with people who have similar backgrounds like you, pursuing the same thing as you, and it made the feeling of the taboo of like wanting to hide from the past to almost be celebrated.
Okay, a memory from what the program was like then was there was no program. Okay, that is the memory. It was literally a bunch, and by a bunch I mean like 5 to like 7 students. However, I do feel like that once we all came together, there was an immediate sense of community, even though we were all pretty apprehensive about it. No one was like full throttle excited, like, yay, I'm here, let me be your best friend. No one gave off that energy. Like that was not the vibe. The only person that had that vibe was Terrielle. Yes.
So in the very beginning, I was not really open. Seeing a lot of people share and be actually there and present really helped me open up the connection with everyone, and having to hear like some of their past, it helped me recognize that also I'm in the same position and I can learn a lot.
The program did receive support, not monetary support, but actually the liaisons from the various areas. And this committee was a cross-divisional effort. So we had, staff from all over campus in every division. For example, admissions, financial aid, Learning Resource Center, advisement, EOP Transitional Program.
I became involved with EOP RSP when I was the coordinator of academics advisement services in the College of Humanities Student Services Center, EOP. Each one of us within the SSC EOP satellites were designated to be a liaison. And that was because we had students in our college who needed that extra level of support. And it was an opportunity for them to see us outside of the advisement session. And so we would have events for the holidays. There would be meetings, welcome backs, opportunities for them to feel as though they were part of a community, but more importantly, that they were not alone.
I actually remember coming to the dorm 2008, and everybody else in the dorm room was all packing up their things with their family. They had toiletries, they had bed sheets, and I literally was looking around like, I was supposed to bring groceries? I was supposed to bring toilet tissue? Like, I didn't know. And being able to say, hey, there's a pantry in housing. All you have to do is, walk up there and talk to this person named Claire Davis. And you have to ask for her because she's like the director of housing. She would open the door and it was literally this very small file cabinet. And when you opened it, it was like, oh, it was like toilet tissue. It was like hygiene products. And they weren't necessarily lofty, but it was enough.
When the program was still a pilot program, and we knew that in order to become official, we needed a name. And instead of us trying to pick a name, Jose Luis wanted the students who were in the original pilot program to make recommendations. And he asked them, what is it that you want to be called? This is your program. And the students picked Resilient.
I started off as a game. I think she was like, okay, we need to come up with a name. So why don't we come up with like feelings and words of what represents us as a group, and we put resilient and scholars and just put those two together.
And that wasn't before having to look up the word resilient.
Yes.
Because when resilient was,
Resilient
all of us didn't know what the heck that meant.
We
So
were scholars.
yes, we were scholars.
Scholars was in the cut.
And when Alex said resilient, mind you, Alex was also a person who was very into EOP. Like he was also working it or volunteering or being kind of mentor-like-ish. And so when he said resilient, we had no idea what the heck it meant. We took out the dictionary, figured out what it was, and it resonated with everybody in the room. We all was like, that's it. Like that's the name. And it's a name that you can be proud to say.
Yes.
It wasn't something that was weak and lame and corny. It had power. Yeah, it had weight.
We were resilient in all ways, but specifically in this also as a former foster youth. We survived, right?
We survived and we did it so well. And we were part of that 1% that go to college. And then adding the name to it just solidified it all. It was like, yeah, this is my people.
EOP and RSP help remind us that unfortunately there's still not an even playing field in education and in life. And some students are not raised with the same resources. And that's why these programs are important, to make sure education should be an opportunity for everyone, no matter how they grew up, and to provide the support that's needed to help the students.
My name is Orlando Roybal, and I'm the Senior Specialist for the EOP Milt and Debbie Valera Resilient Scholars Program. It's so interesting being a part of EOP Resilient Scholars as a student and seeing where the programs came from and kind of where it's gone and how it's been smaller to now as being a staff member within the program. And I think those early years and that foundational time when we were really trying to figure out which direction to go in as students, and also that the staff were. And I have to say that the staff in EOP who were running the program listened to us. They were very student-centered in terms of like what we needed. We expressed the need and they tried to figure out how to solve that.
I was maybe 4 years old at the time, came to California, spent most of my childhood and teenage years in foster care, specifically group homes. Ended up graduating high school from a group home, and as soon as I got out of high school, came straight to CSUN, and at that point in 2013, I entered RSP. My experience in college definitely wouldn't have been the same without RSP. Coming from a group home and not having a lot of support or anyone to fall back on, having a program that was structured around helping foster youth who are exactly in my situation was really helpful. It wouldn't have been the same not having someone that I could reach out to when I needed help, or if I needed some advice or assistance when things that just typical college kid struggles and no one to really go to about it. Gina specifically was very, very helpful for me when I came in as a freshman and through sophomore and junior year, helping me navigate these very, very different waters than I was used to. The program was always there to help me find what I needed so that I could get ahead, so that I could be successful, and so I could get to the point that I am today as a successful college graduate.
So I became involved in EOP, RSP as a former foster youth. I was a special admit to Cal State Northridge because of my prior experience in the foster care system. I grew up in Compton and South Central and entered the foster care system at the age of 8. Over the course of 5 to 6 years, I moved around to several different foster homes. I don't believe my college experience would have been the same without RSP, because the support that I got from the community, I think, was definitely very critical in my attendance here at CSUN.
I don't think my college experience would have been the same without EOP, RSP, and the community, mainly because I don't have a very supportive community back at home. So coming into a new and pretty scary environment, it is amazing that I got to have this community and all the support around me, again, not just from staff, but from the students that I've met. And if it wasn't for RSP, I wouldn't really have the friends that I have now too. I think that I've grown so much closer to everybody and have such a close net and good surrounding around me that it's something that I think anybody would want.
As we celebrate EOP Resilient Scholars celebrating 15 years, it's really important to think about the community that we've created with one another. And because of that, loss has unfortunately played a big role in our group as well. And learning how to grieve together is one of the things that has made the group so strong, in my opinion. And when we think about those who we've lost, those like Taniela, those like Teriel, Janice Martin, Jose Luis Vargas, we think about Alex Furtado, and then Quentin Thomas, and all of those people who had played such a big role within our community because we were such a close, tight-knit group, whether they were staff or students, had a tremendous impact on the relationships we've had, and how now when we see each other, we hug each other a little bit tighter because we've experienced those losses together that made a lot of this really difficult, but made everything so special and made us appreciate everything that the program had to offer so much more.
The EOP Resilient Scholars Program was solely funded by EOP funds for many years. However, the CSUN community played a big role in establishing scholarships for our students. One of the larger contributions that we received was from the Anthony and Ginny Pritzker Family Foundation. They were able to fund a grant for us for many years, and that allowed us to expand our services to transfer students and also build the partnerships with the community colleges within the Valley, as well as COC, College of the Canyons.
In addition to the scholarships we were receiving and some of the grants, we received a phone call one day from Advancement requesting that Gina and I meet with two individuals named Milt and Debbie Valera. And it is because of the endowment that was given by the Valeras that we are now able to serve all foster youth on campus, and we have grown significantly because of the endowment.
Well, there's a fact here that very, very few people know. We have somewhere between 600 and maybe 800 foster students on our campus. There's a need there. There is a need there to support these students who want to better themselves, who want to get an education. It enables foster youth to become part of the community without being victims as they were very young. Foster youth today, certainly on our campus, are heroes because they don't look at themselves as victims. They are part of the community, and in many, many cases, they're leaders.
I feel that we want to continue supporting Resilient Scholars because their spirit and their openness is a very refreshing and rewarding experience for us. They're just amazing. They're gracious, they're dedicated, they reflect well on the campus, and they reflect well on the Resilient Scholars Program. 15 years is just a start. We'll go on to 20 and 25, and hopefully we'll engage all those 600 to 800 students on campus.
The EOP Resilient Scholars community to me is more than words. I don't think I can actually articulate what the feeling it is that the program has given me as a student, and being able to grow up with the program over the course of the last 15 years. Since its ribbon cutting in 2009, right, it's been a constant source of hope and inspiration, even in the darkest of time.
Working with the EOP Resilient Scholars Program has been, I think, one of the best parts of my career here at CSUN. You get to know them personally, their challenges, and what they've faced growing up. And I think anyone knowing their story, there's no way that you can't make a room in your heart for them.
The most enjoyable experience for me working with RSP students is really getting to know them as individuals and being able to help support them and be part of the group of people that is trying to rally behind them and to be their cheerleader, and for them to know that there are people who care about them. But I think the thing I enjoy the most is seeing their journey from the beginning and seeing them walk across the stage when they graduate. And in my case, being able to still stay connected to some of the students who have graduated and learning that they've earned their masters and they have children and they have these professions. I think seeing them achieve their goals is probably the most enjoyable and amazing aspect of my role within EOP RSP.
Well, seeing the picture of the current group is amazing. We were only a small smidge of when that first started. So it's really amazing that there's so many people invested, so many changes that has happened, and then just the growth in general of who's benefiting from the resources.
When I envision EOP RSP for the future, I envision a whole town. Basically, I envision a bigger community, more members with the resources provided for people such as me, people such as all of us, that help people that feel like they have nothing, people that feel like they don't have a chance. RSP is there to give them that chance, to make sure they know they have that chance, to bring their mentality up, to make them know that they have what it takes.
I've been lucky to be a part of Resilient Scholars from when it was just a committee to what it's become now. But we would not be able to do what we do without all the support we receive from administrators, staff, faculty, our donors, but most importantly, our students. And we would not be where we are today without all of you.